When Miko Yatsuya wakes up in the morning to get ready for school, she hears a noise from the window and opens the curtain to see a dog randomly barking, but she doesn't think anything of it. As she leaves the house, her parents tell her it rained later that day, and she says she'll buy an umbrella at the store. She goes to school as usual when her friend Hana Yurikawa suddenly grabs her from behind, which is normal, as her playful friend often does this. Hana notices a keychain on Miko's bag and inquires where she got it. Miko replies that she got it at the bookstore. As the two girls converse in the hallway, Yuria Nijedo, a classmate, pushes past saying out of the way, and to Miko and Hana's surprise, they move aside. Later, while Miko is looking out of the window during class, she notices a ball rolling around on its own. Further strange things have been happening. Hana revealed to Miko during lunch that the other day she had a midnight hunger pang, but when she got up to eat she discovered there were only leftovers in the refrigerator and her clock had stopped working. Miko plays along, not really believing any of that was true, but later, when she went to the toilet, she had heard an unsettling sound in the toilet. Although this is nothing new, as anyone who has used a public restroom can attest, Hana bids Miko goodbye after school, but it turns out that her keychain has fallen off. Miko searched the school for it and eventually found it under a desk, but when she picked it up, she heard another strange sound. Later that night, it started to rain, so Miko hurried out of the building to the nearby bus stop. And wring her skirt, she takes a picture of herself and sends it to Hana. But then she noticed that she received the same picture on her phone. Then again and again until it changed into a horrifying zombie-like image. And Miko was so scared that the phone fell from her hand. After calming down she realized that it was probably just a hallucination. And picked her phone up again. It turns out she never got those strange pictures after all. And Hana just asked if she was alright from the rain. As she rubbed her eyes, Miko's world changes all at once. She looks up and standing right in front of her is an ominous ghost, repeatedly asking if she can see it. Absolutely terrified, Miko decides to ignore the ghost and doesn't start freaking out until it leaves the bus stop, but the horror doesn't end here. All while Miko was brushing her teeth in the bathroom. She sees a handprint on the mirror and wipes it off thinking it was her brother Kusuke Yatsuya. She blinks and all of a sudden she sees another ghost towering over her with a twisted head. Like before, it keeps asking her if she can see it, and again she ignored it, saying that she thought something flew into her eyes. It watches her for 20 minutes before disappearing. This incident really rattled her. So after brushing her teeth, Miko went to the kitchen for some salt, poured it into a bowl and put it on her bedroom floor, but as she lays on the bed the salt spilled everywhere, and she feels something moving under her blanket. She lifts it and sees a ghost lying on her stomach saying, "Mama." Miko realizes that the salt didn't work and decides to buy prayer beads, and like earlier, she pretends to not see the ghost and doesn't show any expression of fear. She closes her eyes, and before she knows it, it's morning again. She goes to school thinking that everything yesterday was because she was tired and stressed. However, this time as Hana grabs her back from behind, it causes Miko to jump and scurry to a corner, where she has a small panic attack. Her friend asks if she's alright and she gives a rather unconvincing yes. As they continue to talking, Miko sees a ghost out of the window. This shouldn't be possible, since they're on the 3rd floor. This ghost's head twists its way through the window, and right in front of Miko, staring directly at her. It asks if she can see it and Miko is frozen in fear, as Hana, who can't see anything wrong, just thinks her friend is staring at her about to propose. The ghost keeps saying good morning, but when Miko doesn't react it disappears. Miko, however, realizes that she could indeed see them. In the locker room while Hana and Miko are changing, their conversation turns to ghosts. Hana says she's scared of them, and when she becomes afraid to get her phone from her locker, Miko steps up to do it for her, and relieved when she sees nothing. But as she look up, there's a head in the locker. Miko couldn't react to it, so instead, she just pretended nothing was wrong and snatched up the phone. Then she slammed the locker shut before quietly freaking out. In the classroom while she was talking with Hana, Miko noticed a ghostly hand on the book Hana was holding. It was slowly crawling toward her jugs and even wrapping around her body. So Miko pretended to trip and knock the desk away. However, the ghost detached from the desk and clung to Hana's back. Unsure of what to do, she brought her to the nurse's office, where she tried to use hand sanitizer to kill it. It looked like it was working, until a head sprung out of the ghost and began to advance toward Miko. Fortunately, she wasn't that well endowed, and a bigger victim, the nurse herself, entered, causing the ghost to immediately spring to her. Miko and Hannah left the nurse's office. Miko's understanding of these abominations had just gotten quite complicated. After school, Miko and Hannah went to the donut store to get snacks. However, as they joined the line to get snacks, Miko was on her phone. She found herself accidentally joining a line of ghosts. Hannah joked that being on your phone like that might get you killed, only for Miko to see that in the distance the line of ghosts was being eaten by a much bigger monster. While the pair were coming back from the store, they saw a kitten in a carton. Miko was initially glad that there was still cuteness in the world. But as the box opened, Miko saw a horrible ghost curled up in the box beside the kitten. The ever-oblivious Hannah picked up the kitten and began playing with it. The pair decided to post online looking for possible owners or adopters and made a meeting point in a nearby park. All the while, trailed by the strange kitten ghost, their Hannah began playing with the kitten. But as she was twirling around, she bumped into a scary-looking man and retreated quickly to Miko's side. As it looked like things were about to get worse, a friendly-looking man called Zentuno appeared, kindly asking if he would be able to care for the cat. Hannah was immediately charmed by the man. But Miko saw the ghosts of many kittens prowling around him, and realized he was probably going to murder the cat. The ghosts that had been following the pair also stopped off toward the man, giving Miko more than enough reason to firmly decline Zen's request. Instead, she insisted on giving it to the scary man. Both Hannah and Gazuka were surprised that they trusted him with the kitten. But Miko saw something different about him. A pair of golden friendly-looking spirits were clinging to the man's shoulder. Two cats. As they handed the kitten over to him, a warm glow emanated from him. He proved to be quite the gentle giant. As Miko watched them leave, she told Hannah that you should never judge a book by its cover. Then the guy returned home, and a ghost touches his shoulder. It was actually the spirit of his wife. So today, up to this, please like, share and subscribe for more videos like this.